Welcome back to my channel, Chronically Fabulous. It's Emily. I am back for your weekly dose of strange. Okay. So today's video is going to be teenage disability and sexuality. I don't know why, but there's like this weird stereotype that anybody with a disability doesn't want to do the diddly-do. I don't understand why people think that. It's one of those things that's just, especially if you're in a wheelchair, people assume that it's just like either shit down there doesn't work or it doesn't feel the same, and it's just like, no. Anyway, my sexual identity is bisexual and another thing, but I don't feel comfortable saying that thing online because, you know, anyway. So I identify as bisexual, which means that I'm into women and I'm into men. Basically the gist of it. If you've seen my sister to a trans man video, you'll know that I personally am not like sexually attracted to trans or non-binary people. For me, it just works out better because I am a very sexual person. It works out better for me when the other person is comfortable with their body. And I understand that some trans people can be comfortable with their body, but it's hard for me because I don't reason things very well to like put together male with breasts or female with penis. It's very hard for me, actually. And again, it's not that I don't accept it. Like, people need to get off my ass for that. It's not because I don't accept it. I full on support trans people. We're going to the trans march in like, what time is it? We're going in like 3 hours. We're going to the trans march. But as personal preference goes, trans isn't my thing. I'm down for chicks and I'm down for guys who biologically are cool with themselves. But so I am bi. I've had a few female partners and a few male partners. I am currently 2 days away from hitting a year and 9 months with my boyfriend right now. Yeah, it's fun. But another big thing with sexuality, especially when it comes to teenagers and teenagers with disabilities, is if you're with a partner and you are sexually active with a partner, you need to be able to talk to them. Like, I can't stress open communication more with a partner. Even for someone who's like not disabled, you have to have open communication with your partner. If you feel like you can't tell your partner something, you're with the wrong person. Like, I hate to tell you, but if you're like, oh, I don't know how they'll react to this, like, okay, if you cheat on someone and you're like, oh, I don't know how they're gonna react to this, I shouldn't say something, you're the asshole. But if it's something normal where it's just like, oh, I don't know if they'll like that I want to get into makeup, or I don't know if they'll like that I'm wearing this type of thing, you're with the wrong person. The person you're with should be able to like accept that you have things that you want to go after. But also with your partner and sex, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat right now. I'm getting sick again. But with your partner and sex, you need to be able to talk openly, and that's especially important for people like us with disabilities. Because if you're like me in the situation where you have ehlers-danlos syndrome or you have chronic fatigue syndrome, sex can be kind of dangerous. Like, I hate to put it that way, but it can be dangerous. And like, I don't want to share like personal stories because it's none of your goddamn business, but there have been times where I'll link my ehlers-danlos syndrome video here so that way people understand what EDS is like. But basically, when you have ehlers-danlos syndrome, your joints slip out. And during sex, stuff like that can happen. And it's very important that your partner understands your disability and knows what to do when things go wrong, be it during sex or not. I have a glitter on my face. Samantha, I see you. The glitter is your fault because you spilled it all over the bathroom. But again, for anybody, have open communication with your partner, because if you don't, even in normal relationships, if something goes wrong and you feel like you can't say anything, it's not good. It can get very dangerous very quickly. I don't know what else to talk about. Teenage disability and sexuality. If you want to explore, like, say, any kind of kink, or like fetish, or whatever you want to call it, again, it comes into, like, you need to talk to your partner about it, because your partner has to be cool with trying it too. And it's like, okay, there's someone I follow on Tumblr, and they're polyamorous, and they have a female partner and a male partner, and this person has a daddy kink, but still refers to her partner as her boyfriend, because her boyfriend isn't cool with being called daddy. And that's, like, the best random example I can think of, because it's, like, something that I've seen online. And it's because just because you are into something, it doesn't mean that your partner is obliged to be into it too. A lot of people don't get that, because I don't know how to put it without it sounding very strange, but it's like that whole, like, boxing ring thing. It's like, if you have two boxers in a ring and only one of them is consented to, like, being a boxer, you're not boxing, you're committing a crime. It goes the same way with sex. Whether you're talking about sexual assault or you're talking about sex with your partner, if your partner has not consented to what you want to do, it's not okay. Open communication. That's, like, the long and the short of it. If you can't tell your partner, I'm not comfortable with doing this, or you can't tell your partner, I want to try this, or if you tell your partner you want to try this and they say they're not comfortable and you still push for it, there's something very wrong. I don't know. It's one of those things that you feel like you shouldn't have to explain, but I guarantee you there's gonna be one person who messages me being like, how dare you, like, take down the kink community? You should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you can talk to your partner about it. Like, well, you don't have to, like, get your partner's approval for a kink. It's like, if you want them to be involved in it, yeah, you do. There's been some, like, really nice moving towards, like, the YouTube community now instead of, like, the actual video. There's been some really nice messages I've been getting recently and some really nice comments. But at the same time, there's always, like, that one asshole who's just like, I'm gonna go against everything that you said in this video, even though it's my video, my YouTube channel, my opinion, and I made it very clear that it's my opinion. And I've made it very clear that if you have a different opinion, that's fine! But there's always that one shithead who's just like, well, here's all of these things that I think you're wrong about. And then if you try and defend yourself, they say that you started an argument, or if you try to defend yourself, they're like, how dare you attack me and stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm not attacking you. You brought something up and I defended myself with my own points. I am not saying that your points are wrong, but you can't expect me to all of a sudden just change my views. Like, for the transgender brother thing, like sister to a trans man, a lot of people were annoyed with that video. Well, not a lot of people. There were a few people who were very annoyed with how, like, the thought came across, because I'm not very good at, like, putting words into meanings. But there were a few people who did stick by me and were just like, you have every right to your like, sexual preference, sexual attraction, but you should be a little bit more open-minded to stuff. And again, don't get me wrong, I am open-minded, but it's just not for me. But no, there's a few people who approached it in a very good way, and there are some people who approached it in the wrong way. Like, I feel like even though I'm not very good at putting my thoughts into words, I made it very clear that I have nothing against trans people. You can ask my brother, he's downstairs. He is trans, and again, we're going to the trans march today. But some people took it as like, oh, well, if you wouldn't have sex with a trans person, you're, like, transphobic. And it's just like, no. That's like saying that someone who's, like, a lesbian but doesn't want to have sex with men is, like, heterophobic. It's like, no, it's not. It's a sexual preference. And there are some people who sexually prefer trans people or non-binary people. There's nothing wrong with that. But you wouldn't go saying that, like, they're cisphobic or something like that. It just doesn't make sense. And then as soon as, like, people think that you're straight or something like that. Like, oh, you're a straight white, like, teenager and you live with, like, a queen-size bed. I'm not white. I'm actually very, very mixed. That queen-size bed is a hand-me-down bed. And then back to the whole point of this channel. I have a disability. It's not as easy as it looks. I know I make it look fab, but it's not easy. But I don't remember what I was talking about in this little ramble. I'm sorry that I like rant a lot, but a lot of people are like, I love when you rant, it's so funny. But just, if someone has a sexual preference, leave them be. If they're like, oh, trans people are the scum of the earth, then you can say that's shitty. But if someone's just like, I support trans people, but it's not for me, like, personally to either transition, or it's not for me sexually, leave them be. They're not doing anything wrong. This video started out as sexuality, and it just turned into another one of those, like, please stop attacking each other videos. Because, like, we live in a world where, don't get me wrong, a lot of things are way more open than they used to be. But we also live in a world where if you're open about a view and it's not the majority, it's still like, it's still ethically right, it's still morally okay, but it's not part of the majority for like the ethically right, morally right views, people will still attack you. And that sucks. Because it's like, why are we this giant community if we're not gonna be cool with each other? Like, waste your energy. Actually, don't waste your energy on people who aren't doing anything wrong. Like, put your energy towards those who can be re-educated, put those towards people who have sometimes a very scary opinion on what is right and what is wrong. Put your energy towards them if you feel like they might be able to change their mind. Because there's some people who, like, there's some people who have these very set, like, mindsets where it's just like, it's my way or no way, and you can hit the road if you're done. But what's the point of being around that person if you can't learn from them or they can't learn from you? That's why I've always stressed, like, have a lot of friends, have a lot of different types of friends, because if you have a whole bunch of different types of friends with different backgrounds, different, like, say, monetary standings or, like, family beliefs and shit like that, have a whole bunch of those friends so that way you can learn a whole bunch of different things and see a whole bunch of different perspectives, because then when shit goes down, because shit always goes down eventually, you have all of the information so you can see what's not right, but like the most politically correct. What's the most morally alright thing. And anyways, this turned into a very like serious, not serious, ranty video. But anyway, yeah, I'm bi. I'm a little bit gay, a little not gay. Meh. Anyways, it's been chronically fabulous, and I hope that you have a really good week. I'm not going to because I'm starting summer school very soon. But anyway, bye!